Hey guys, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now for this video, we're going to be jumping into The Flash, issue number 770. Now if you haven't been keeping up with the Flash line, go ahead and check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It's going to get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on in this line. Now this is a story written by Jeremy Adams, and what we have seen is Wally West trying to retire. He's been trying up to this point, but something happened, some kind of surge in the speed force, and it's been jumping his consciousness from one speedster to another throughout the timeline. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we jump into the issue, we're met with two individuals. We're met with Jay Garrick and Happy Terrell. Now right now they're sitting outside of the president's office waiting to go inside. And they do their introductions to one another, only to be quickly interrupted by the intern saying that the president is ready to see them. And so the two enter the room and the president asks them one simple question. How would they like to end World War II today? And that's what will bring us to a military aircraft, where both Jay Garrick as the Flash and Happy as the Ray are costumed up. You know, prior to this meeting, they've never met one another. So Jay Garrick, he has no idea the true potential of the Ray's power. But the President of the United States, he got these two together because these two together could literally end the war. They could take out Hitler and call it a day. And so without wasting much time, these two jump out of the plane. Ray coming out like a burning sun, and Jay Garrick having to use a parachute. Now they've come for a very particular mission, and that mission that they're here for is the Spear of Destiny. Now the Spear of Destiny, it really does have extraordinary powers. It has the power to literally change reality from what it is. Whoever's holding it has an extraordinary amount of power. And right now, Hitler and his forces, they are the closest individuals to capturing it. And so that's what their mission is here. Their mission is to get the Spear of Destiny before Hitler does. Because if Hitler were to get that spear, all of reality will be at stake. And what we see from these two characters, Jay Garrick being a religious believer and the Ray not. You know, the Ray doesn't believe that this is the spear that pierced Christ's stomach. He believes that it may have some kind of power to it, but all he really knows is that it's something Hitler wants, and so it's going to be something that he takes away from him. And this is where we see the two take off. They make their way to some ruins, and finding a back entrance into these ruins, they go through there, and using their powers, they're zipping through these ruins, trying to find the spear, because this is the said location of where it may be. But as they're making their way down through these ruins, this is when they get ambushed. This is when they get trapped by the Nazis. And this is when a Nazi by the name of Otto Fritz introduces himself. And we see him wielding the Spear of Destiny. He's taken away the powers of the Ray and Jay Garrick. And not because he's holding the spear, but because that is his meta power. Something that the Führer, he values very much. Because it keeps metahumans like the Flash, like the Ray, coming in and just assassinating or executing Hitler. And so right now, Otto's very pleased with himself. Not only does he have one weapon of mass destruction, but now he has three, because he has the Ray and he has the Flash. And so they lock these two up and they take them with them. On a German cruiser headed on the high seas, we see week after week the Ray and the Flash getting tortured, getting abused. They are now prisoners of war, and slowly but surely, they're losing hope. They're losing a little bit of faith. You know, Jay Garrick, he's trying to hold on to his faith. It's what's really driving him forward, keeping him alive at this point. But his body can only take so much, and without powers, he can't heal. And as we approach week 5 of their imprisonment, Jay Garrick is brought back from being tortured. And he looks like he's about to die. He looks like he's about done here. And as he is slowly fading out of consciousness, this is when we see the Ray, who is a man who has never believed in a god or anything of that nature. He calls out to him. To save Jay Garrick. To say, you know, if you are there, do something. Help him right now. This is your last chance to save a good man. And in that instance, that is when we see the Speed Force jolt into his body. And with it, Wally West consciousness comes with it. And this is what breaks them from their chains. And that's what brings us outside. Because the ship, it has docked. It is docked here in occupied Germany. And Hitler is sitting here waiting for the Spear of Destiny. And we see the exchange. The Führer holds the weapon in his hands, but as he sits here and holds it, this is when a giant bolt of Speed Force energy comes blasting out of the ship. And it lands directly on the Führer, sending Hitler flying back in the opposite direction. And this is when Wally West fully gains consciousness and starts realizing where he is. Looking around for his surroundings, he realizes that he's Jay Garrick. Now, Wally West, his primary concern right now is finding that bolt of Speed Force energy that left. Because every timeline that he's been in so far, there has been this surge of Speed Force energy. And if it remains here for too long, in any timeline for too long, it's going to explode, and who knows what kind of damage that is. And so with their chains broken and the door now open so they can be able to get out, Wally West tells the Ray that they need to go hunt down that bolt of lightning that left his chest. But the Ray still believes this to be Jay Garrick. He hasn't really realized it yet. It just seems like Jay Garrick may be disoriented in some way. And this is where we pick up outside, because Hitler had gotten hit with that bolt of lightning, but it didn't kill him, it didn't do any real harm to him, it empowered him. It made him stronger, like it did to everything prior. Now, Hitler, he believes that he was blessed by God. And now he was blessed by God, as well as wielding the Spear of Destiny. He sees himself as a deity. And this is when Wally West and the Ray, they go running looking for an armory that's on this ship. Because they're going to need everything at their disposal to be able to take on what is outside of the ship. And the whole time he's running, Ray is trying to have a conversation with him, but Wally West is completely dismissing him for the most part. And he's talking to Barry Allen. He's talking to Mr. Terrific. He's trying to get as much information about the Spear of Destiny as he can, while also looking for the armory. Now, this is when Mr. Terrific, he lets us know. Lets us know some information that most of us already knew up to this point, is that the sphere, it creates a sphere influence, if you will. So anything within a certain radius of the spear is inside of this little bubble. And whoever has control of it at the time, basically, can do whatever they want. And this is when they realize that Hitler, he has the spear. And not knowing really what to do in this situation, this is when Barry Allen makes a phone call. Makes a phone call to the one individual that was actually there. Now, this is where we see the Ray and the Flash. They've gotten a hold of some Nazi uniforms, and they're posing as Nazi soldiers to try to get a little bit closer to Hitler, to try to do something in this situation. Because right now, Hitler is outside and he is literally just drunk with power. So much so that he doesn't even care that the prisoners escaped. To him, they're nothing now. They're pissants, if you will. Because now that he has the spear, he can literally do whatever he wants. And so they ready Hitler's plane. And Hitler, he's going to take off. He's getting out of here, and the Ray and the Flash, they have to hurry up. And as the plane is getting out of range of them, their powers come back to them, and we see the Ray pick up Jay Garrick and go flying off. Now, their plan here is to land on top of the plane and then find their way in somehow. Now, if this sounds like a bad idea, it's absolutely a horrible idea. Because the closer they get to this plane, they're going to start losing their powers again. And so the Ray, he flies over top of this plane and gets as close as he can. And we see both of them lose their powers, but Jay Garrick starts shooting down at the plane, shooting a circle so that when they land, they break straight through the top of the plane and land inside of it. Straight up doing some James Bond stuff here. And this is when they're met with Hitler and Otto. And this is when we see them go to make their attack. But Hitler is wielding the Spear of Destiny, and it stops both of them dead in their tracks. Because he is holding the Spear of Destiny, he can take control of a conscious mind, and it does whatever he commands. And this is where Wally West and Jay Garrick have the benefit. Because right now, Jay Garrick's mind is laying dormant while Wally West has control. And so with the Spear of Destiny, Hitler unknowingly is only taking control of Wally West. And this is where we see Jay Garrick gain control, has no idea what is going on, all he sees is Hitler, and he uses his powers, runs at him, and just sucker punches him right in the face. And doing this breaks Hitler's holds, simultaneously Wally West coming back to consciousness and the Ray as well. Now we see the speed force inside of Hitler, it is slowly growing. It's getting to the point where he's about to explode, and they need to be able to find something that can absorb the energy. And that's when they go up and grab the spear, because the spear is the only thing within the vicinity that could absorb any kind of energy of that capacity. And this is where we see a giant purple explosion just start blasting out the top of this, and just like that, this is over. We see the Ray carrying Jay Garrick away from this explosion. Now, they're not sure if Hitler died in this situation. They didn't see a body. They didn't see a body of Otto either. Now, Wally West is still technically in consciousness here, but we see him slowly fade out. And he tells the Ray to just take care of Jay Garrick. You know, it was nice to live in a moment that Jay Garrick got to live in the golden age. But this is when he fades out. He fades out of consciousness, and the Speed Force jumps him yet into another speedster. And that's what brings us to the freaking Legion of Doom. Because the Speed Force just threw Wally West into the mind of Reverse Flash. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I've been thinking that this is a lot of fun. I was not looking forward to Wally West retiring, and I kind of feel like they may not be doing that. I think they were kind of just trying to get us to read it and see if he's actually retiring. But it's looking more and more like the Speed Force just doesn't want that to happen. You know, the Speed Force is going out of its way to ensure Wally West can't do that. Now, there could be something wrong with the Speed Force that only Wally West can fix, and that's why it's been grabbing his consciousness, or it could be trying to teach him a lesson. But it is my firm belief that Wally West is not going to be retiring. I believe that the Speed Force just won't let that happen. Regardless of Barry Allen, you know, going and working on the Big Knee Omniverse with the whole Infinite Frontier line, you know, Central City still needs the Flash. Earth still needs a Flash. And there is nobody better to fill that mantle than Wally West. There's nobody more deserving of that mantle than Wally West. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content we have coming out. And until the next breakdown.